Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flipping Ain't Easy, and another live stream on a Friday. And I apologize for being a little late today. We set it for 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, because I had to take my phone in because it needs a new battery, and I feel really, helpless without my phone. I do so many things without my phone, but it'll be done by the time we get done with this live stream, and then I got to shoot over to Best Buy and pick it back up. So I'll be complete again. It's pretty sad that we rely so much on our cell phones, but as far as like doing my listings and things like that, that's how I do my photos and everything. So definitely is important for me to get that resolved. So it was at under 80% as far as battery health, and when that happens, you really have the thing on the charger all the time, and they won't really replace it until it's under 80%. And it's like $75. So instead of getting a new phone, which is an option, I decided to go with a new battery. So let's go with that. So today's topic in hand, and before I get to the topic, actually wanted to let some people kind of roll in here. So if you are with us today, please comment and ask your questions. I'm going to try to keep the live stream to about an hour today. It may go over it a little bit, but I want to get my phone, and I'm kind of behind the 8 ball and get some stuff done. So of course, I will never, even if I'm in the emergency room, I will never cancel a live stream. I'm serious. I'll have like the tubes in my nose and everything, and I'll fire up my phone and still have the live stream because I really enjoy it a lot. It's something I look forward to. And so please comment in the in the live chat your questions, and or maybe you have answers to the questions, and I'll be glad to. Didn't have my microphone there, so I apologize. I'll be glad to address your comments and questions, and I apologize. I'm kind of rushing here because I really did get to the live stream with only a couple minutes to go. So if you're watching this after the fact, sorry you didn't make it, please comment down below. And no matter how you're watching this, please hit the like button. That's really all I ask. And for the time that we put in to do this usually try to do it 2 times a week, but at least once a week. That's really all that I ask. We have Ed, the reselling writer, in the house. We have Prosser in the house. We have Picky Ricky in the house. You guys came early. Geez, you guys are thinking at 3 o'clock. David Gwilt's in the house. Savage Pickers, 11th Pokeball or Pokeball. Bling Factor Australia. Gail Carlson, GT, Biscuit Butt. I just saw Biscuit Butt earlier today. Atlas's Attic, Art Betshold. Colleen's Encouragement Minute. Gary Champ. My lovely wife Jenna. She's not going to be with us today on the live stream. She's going to be taking care of some things, so she's just dropping by. So hello there. Bling Factor Australia, Jim D, Dave Allen. And so let's kind of get started here. And so, again, I think with Q4, and I think I've said this a few times, even as early as this summer, that it's not looking so hot, and the resources that I look at are not really projecting very good outlook for the economy. And while this is not an economics channel, it is very important that as resellers, we keep our eyes and ears out for what we see going on in the world and the economy, because ultimately what affects the everyday person will affect you and I, and it may not be affecting you yet, but as our customer base diminishes, and I say customer base diminishing because of their inability to have extra funds to buy the items that we're selling, it will eventually trickle down and affect us. And I think I'm already seeing, and I'm seeing as compared to last year, even with the changes that I've made recently, I'm seeing a downturn or a downtick in sales. Um, so how does one navigate through this type of thing? Because of course the economy is out of our control. What is in our control is the things that we can do to our account, the involvement that we give our account. So that means you're going to have to work a little harder to get the same type of sales than maybe you're used to. And, I think this is going to be something that's going to weed people out. Unfortunately, it's going to, with the slow sales, is going to make some of the slower selling stores just totally quit, and some have already done so already. And but to me, there's two ways that I've come up with, just kind of thinking about it, that will help you kind of navigate through slow times, and that is add more value to your store. Now, some will say that's just increase the number of listings, but I say more value, and I say that all the time because it's kind of an easy cop out to say, I'll increase my listings from 10 a day to 20 a day when all you're doing is adding $1, $5 items. And so that's not the whole point of it. If you're listing $200 worth of items, try to get $300 per day in there. And that may be you sourcing higher average sale price items, or that just may mean that you're listing more. Whatever that is, that's getting you more items in your store or more value in your store. The other thing would be uh, change what you're selling. I talk to so many people all the time that are just asking me questions like, John, what can I do? My sales are dead. I haven't had a sale in a few days, and this is not normal. And then you find out they're selling things that are more wants than need, like a lot of collectibles. And I'm not saying every collectible category is dead, but it's not what it was, and it's a lot. A lot of it's tied to this economy. We're just putting it out there. So, they're talking about gas shortages and things like these are all things that will affect the supply chain and can affect your ability to source. And again, I might be sourcing used things right now, so it might have not affect me. But if you're the one that maybe is buying directly wholesale or buying new items, shelf pulls and things like that, it's going to affect the ability for those things to get to where you're used to seeing them, and or if you do like retail arbitrage and things like that. So I'm very hopeful that things will improve, but based on what I'm reading, I have to be real with myself, and that's why I'm bringing the subject to you guys. We got to be real with ourselves, and we have to get ahead of it. And by getting ahead, it's like, okay, you're content with 500 listings, or maybe the number of value in your store. Maybe you have $15,000 in value listed in your store, and you're content with that. Well, maybe it's a good idea to not be so content and maybe get that up to about 20,000, 25,000. And I think it's well within our ability to kind of look at our processes and try to speed up and get rid of some of the things that are holding us back. So, like the video I did the other day, it was just one small thing. If you're using these crazy templates, if you're, adding extra stuff to your listing that you don't need to add, that's only going to slow you down and prevent you from adding more value to your store and getting more listings up. So that's my strategy. I'd like to hear what your strategy is, and that's kind of the material that I'm bringing to today to just kick off the show. Want to see what you guys think and what your comments are. We've been doing a lot of shoe cleaning, and I've been doing nothing but making just a big mess. You see the mess of shoes behind me. We're not even on these shoes yet. We're messing with another batch of shoes and just trying to find the right formula. Um, I got to tell you, baking soda and was it vinegar and all that stuff? That stuff just makes a big old mess. It just clumps all over the place. And honestly, I'm kind of done with it. And I mean, we've tried things we saw on the internet, on YouTube. Take toothpaste, take the combination of toothpaste, peroxide, and baking soda with some water. mix it all up, put it on the soles of the shoes, and wrap it in saran wrap, put it out in the sun for 20 minutes, and then wipe it off, right? And that's supposed to do well. I'm wondering though if it wouldn't be better. Now, hear me out. And I know this is not a shoe channel, but just for those of you who do shoes, is to take a small tray and fill it with the solution that you're using to clean whatever that is to clean the shoe, and sit the shoe down so that it doesn't go over where the upper material is in the shoe. And that way it's soaking the sole of the shoe in this solution for like 30 minutes. And then you lift it out and then, clean it up. Wonder if that pre-soak would actually be something to maybe look into. So want your thoughts on that. And of course, what am I doing wrong? I'm making such a mess. We have an area in our dining room that we're using, and it's just making a mess, if I'm being honest about it. So there's got to be a better way. So let's see. Prosper says, current economy, yes, I expect slower sales in regards to how people are spending. And I see the trend leading more towards the need items, not the want. Yes, because people are always going to need things. Like, we had that need for toilet paper when the pandemic started, right? Of course, I'm not telling you to go out and buy toilet paper, but, if you have a chance to come across things that potentially are weight, health and beauty, this is something that someone could potentially need. And if there ever becomes an issue with, supply chain or just a price issue, you can get it to them for half the price they can get it, at their local store. Then you're providing a service to somebody. Picky Ricky says 250 quid, and I think quid is like bucks in English, meaning pounds. 250 pounds over 7 days, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it means. Not happy at all, so that's not good. That's about what, $30 a day, $40 a day. So what can you do, huh? Sold just 2 DVDs today, totaling $3.48, £3 48. I don't know if it's cents or whatever you guys call it. Sorry, I'm just not up to speed on that. So and that's out of 1,500 items. So again, the number count of items, I think is, the higher you go, the bigger store that eBay is going to charge you for. So the more value you can get per listing, the better. But that's, I'm sure that you're not the only person that's struggling with that right now. Prosper says, I had a good week in sales and sold a few DVDs as well. Although, there's nothing in DVDs really. There's really not. Even the Blu-ray discs, there's not. I have on my fun account that I have some of those listed, and those things aren't going for much at all. I even have a 40% off sale going on that store, and it's like crickets. Piggy Ricky says, I hardly list them anymore unless they are box sets. Happy to have gone today, but not happy. That is all I've sold. So yeah, I hear you on that. And again, I will list DVDs on my other account. I will try to list my higher value stuff on my main account, but really it's about getting more value than that if you can. And box sets are good. I did come across those at the bins today with Biscuit Butt. We got there when they opened, and that's the bins that you see Carrie from American Arbitrage. If you ever watch his videos, that he's taking the snuff video, I guess you call it, because you're not supposed to videotape at the bins. But I digress. If you watch the videos, that's what it is. It's just a lot of crap that you have to sort through, and there's stuff to find. And I'm meeting people there, meeting people on seeing how that they, because most of the people there are resellers, and trying to figure out what they're doing. And some do like FBA for books because they have a lot of books. So I'm learning that as I watch these people go, and I just thought it was just fascinating to see how different people are looking for different things. Like some people will lot up toys, be like loose action figures or loose Barbies, or they have games. If you buy the board games, they sell them for 25 cents. Puzzles, 25 cents, and things like that. So it looks like a lot of trash. If you've seen my video or Carrie's video, it looks like a lot of trash that you're sorting through, and it is. But there's some value there. And you know what? I say this. I think that that Goodwill is really screwing up here. And if I'm being honest, their prices are too high to begin with. Most of us know that. That's why most of us, or many of us, don't even bother thrifting with Goodwill anymore. But here's the thing. They go from greed to, okay, we're going to have one day where it's like half off the red sticker day or half off the gray sticker day, right? And if something doesn't sell, they ship it off. Thank you. They ship it off to the clearance. This is where the bins are, the Goodwill Clearance Center. And the problem with that is, okay, you're going from one extreme to the other because you're selling this stuff for $1.69 a pound or 25 cents a board game, $1 a book, that kind of thing. And all you had to have done is, instead of having it $12.99, just have it priced reasonably to begin with. And if that item still doesn't sell, then have a section in each store where everything's marked down to 99 cents. And then you get rid of all the logistics to have a clearance center to begin with, and have every Goodwill have that set up. Maybe I need to put in my application for CEO of Goodwill, but I think it could be avoided just by stop the greed. I mean, it's just, I shake my head when I see how much stuff that they just keep pouring in the bins and how many people just are going there. And it's just a madhouse, to be honest with you. So that's my rant about Goodwill. I'm sure many of you may agree or disagree, but again, if they just priced it reasonably in the first place, and you're talking good stuff. I even saw guys in the parking lot. These four, they must have been probably in their mid-20s. They're all huddled outside of a car, and the car was filled with like IKEA bags of clothes that they all just purchased. And they had Carhartt, they had Nike. I mean, they had it all. And it just makes me wonder, then why are they trying to sell that? Carhartt would have sold easily at a Goodwill had they had priced it for, $2-3 for the pair. But yet they got less than that because it was less than 2 pounds. So go figure on that. Trying to get to some folks here. So Picky Ricky says they've been changing. They just switched back the eBay selling overview. Can't switch back. So yeah, a lot of us have had that where our listing tool is now locked in place. So before I was able to go back to the old one. I haven't seen the old one in weeks. And I think many of us, if not all of us, are going to be in that boat, if not already, where we're not going to be able to get that. I know that's a big point of contention on a lot of the forums. There's a lot of people that are up in arms because they have to learn a new format. The format isn't as user-friendly as the old one. And we talk about this a lot, but it still is a problem for many people out there. And when you already don't like listing, there's a lot of sellers that don't like listing, and then you're faced with a learning curve. And I say a learning curve, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a change, but for some, it's just enough to really put them off even more. And that there goes the motivation, and there goes the death pile. It's just going to, build back up. So I'm just powering through it. And to me, if you don't like the lister on the PC, make the initial listing with the app, and it's not so bad. Go through the app, take your photos. I watched a couple channels where they're listing an item every 2-3 minutes. We're talking electronics. We're assuming that they actually have gone through the diligence of testing everything before they went to that stage. But 2-3 minutes for the listing. Even if you wanted to launch a draft and then go to your computer, clean it up, and then launch it for live, that's something that you can do as well. But a lot of this game is motivation and being motivated to do all the steps. Some people hate shipping. It's like, great, I sold all these items, but now I got to ship 20 items. That's going to take all my day, and you dread it, and it's a daily thing. But you just gotta take every component of the reselling process, and make it something that you enjoy, no matter how you despise certain steps of the process, if that makes sense. Gary Champ says, love your videos. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I really do. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd be talking to myself in front of this camera, and that's what nobody wants to see. That's for sure. Ed says that's dedication. If you're in the ER, yeah, one day you might see me with the oxygen in my nose, and I'm sitting back, and I will, if I have a live stream scheduled, I'm going to keep doing it. I swear to you, I will. As long as I have my phone, I'll do it. Atlas Addict says, yes, very slow sales today and yesterday, Wednesday. I did 12 sales, very strange, like Russian roulette. Yeah, and some days my traffic has been kind of up and then came down a little bit, came back up the last few days, but just really, really strange. And again, you might have some good items in your store, and once those items are gone, if you're not replacing them with good items, you're just replacing them with stuff. That could also explain because your good items help drive the traffic to your store. So make sure you're sourcing good things. I got at the bins, I ended up getting 13 board games and puzzles. I think 3 of them were puzzles, the other 10 were board games, and they look complete. They look to be in pretty decent shape. $3.50 is all I paid. That's it. $3.50. Picked up some books that maybe I can send into FBA because I want to get into that. I was looking at my Amazon seller app and just scanning to see what some of these books will sell for in FBA. And it surprised me when I fired up the app that I had like $90 in sales the last few days. And I'm like, wait, my Barbies have already started to sell. And I'm used to getting a notification, like a text that comes on my phone every time I make a sale for FBM, which is the ones that I'm sending out myself. And I guess because I'm not handling it, I guess it would be kind of a nightmare if you have hundreds upon hundreds of items that you're sent into FBA that you get a ding every time you make a sale. But because I'm used to that, I was thinking, well, I wasn't even getting any sales. I'm getting all these sales for my Barbie dolls on FBA. So I think this weekend I'm going to go in and just package up as many of those new toys and get them sent into FBA. From what I understand, talking to Bearded Picker, he said that he was told that the 1st of November, so that's Tuesday, you have to have them post or actually into them by the 1st if you want your items available for Black Friday. And of course, I think by the middle part of November, if you want your stuff even available for Christmas at all. So I'm going to do that. I want to free up some space. I'm not getting a lot of good traction here with a lot of these toys. And I think maybe I'm just expecting it to happen too soon. Maybe I need to wait until people get into that Christmas mode in November. But I really, I don't have a lot of patience for product that's just sitting. And I don't want to be in that mode of thinking that, oh, just wait until the Christmas rush comes. And here the 15th, 20th of November, I'm still sitting on these toys. So I need to get proactive. Again, I'm only into all these toys for about $600. And I think I've made most of it back already on the small sales I've made and on the Amazon stuff I've sold. Let's see here. Missing some folks here. So maybe the late start kind of turns some people off, but next time we'll have it a little earlier. E-Gals can flies in the house. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Janet Hayter is from Tallapoosa, Georgia. That must be over by the Florida Panhandle area, I think, right? Picky Ricky says, I'm up 40% on last October, but in relation to how much more I have up on eBay, it's not good. Atlas Addict says, it's the same everywhere, very slow. My Etsy, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, as well as my eBay store. Even my Mercari is kind of slowed down. Now, granted, I'm not adding as many items as I was, and I need to do that. I think I have about 250 items in that store, and I just need to get more stuff. See, as more stuff I have out there, the less time I seem to spend in here doing the touch-up work, right? The everyday sell similar, you got to do that, right? I did some before coming on, and once you navigate through that, then you got other things you can do, like cross listing. There's so many things you can do in this business, and when you get more stuff to sell, you kind of feel like you need to get that stuff processed and put up for sale. So that's kind of where I'm spending most of my time the last couple weeks. Savage Picker says, I see the changes for sure. I also have a sticker shock at the grocery store. I've been running constant sales and have had to slim down on merchandise purchases. Yeah, what was it that I was buying? I sent Jenna to the store for some potatoes, just a 10-pound bag of potatoes. And of course, I usually do the grocery shopping. So she's not, she's kind of oblivious to the prices because she just doesn't do that. It's what I've always done. And so she comes back and she tells me what she spent, and she's got potatoes. She's got some other things too, but I'm like, well, how much are these? And she said she spent $10 for a bag of potatoes at like a Walmart, not the super Walmart, but one of those neighborhood Walmart stores. And I couldn't believe it. Now, these are the bigger potatoes, mind you, but a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $10, it's crazy. Dave Allen says, I was just told by the manager at a local Salvation Army that prices will be going up starting November. The lowest price will now be $2.99, even if it's from the 99-cent store. Well, that's ridiculous. So, I mean, if they're sourcing things, or actually maybe they're getting donations from the 99-cent store and they're pricing them at $2.99, who's going to buy that? See, this is what I'm talking about. To have a blanket statement like that is just mismanagement. To say, okay, all the prices are going up, even the 99-cent items, means you're not really doing your homework. Now, of course, I don't know who they have running these places, Goodwill and Salvation Army, but you got to use common sense. If people don't have money to be spending in your store, what makes you think the free items you're getting are going to have that much more value for the people that are going to go in there? Now, remember, not everyone's a reseller that's going into these stores. Some people actually need this merchandise, and you're pricing a lot of those folks out of it, which is pretty sad, I think. I was recommended to watch your channel by Prosser. Well, awesome. Thank you. I hope you like the channel. Not just live streams. I try to do 2 to maybe 3 videos a week as well, if I can, talking about just different random topics. And, honestly, I want to hear what you guys want me to talk about as well, because that's probably one of the toughest things in this YouTube niche is to talking about, reselling, is finding things that you guys are going to be interested in, finding things that impact the average seller. And I try to find things that, maybe aren't talked about, but really do have a purpose. And I don't want to go in and have, eBay bingo, what sold in B5, let's check bin G, what is it, bit G50, and keep checking my sales until one of you guys hit bingo on the bingo card. I've talked about that. It sounds like a fun thing, but, and I said that in jest, and, we're going to have Jenna throw like the dauber at me, like if someone hits bingo or something, but it's ridiculous. And there's a lot of people who like to watch that stuff, but I've never felt comfortable putting videos like that together, because honestly, I just don't like watching those kind of videos. The pair of breeches that you sold for $20 has no impact on my ability to sell whatever I'm selling. So, and I know there's people looking for bolos and things like that, but how many times have you watched these videos to get ideas on what to buy, and you went right out and found that exact same item, maybe similar items, but there's so much stuff to sell out there that you don't need someone's success or failures to tell you what stuff to source. So that's why I don't really care for those videos too much. And when someone packages a real message of, here's what I found, that'll help your sales, and then they bundle it in, like the first 10 minutes, they're walking through their mess and they're pulling stuff and showing you what they sold, playing eBay bingo with you, it gets kind of annoying that the message is really tucked in there somewhere, and you're really just tuning in to find out what that particular information is. So you won't see that here a lot. I mean, I will show you once in a while what I've sold, but it's only because someone's asked me to do it. It's not something I've decided, well, this would be good content. Picky Ricky says, quitting is not an option for me. And it's not an option for me either. But there are some people who are kind of fair weather, and they get all excited. They get fired up. They go out and they get the stuff that they, think is going to make them a fortune, because they watch these channels and they think they're going to get super rich. And then they find out that it's not what, it was presented as, and they just give up. I've seen it happen so many times. Ed says, I did take your advice, John, with the coupon thing. I essentially made it where full price sales with my coupon get me exactly what I wanted. Buyers seeing those red letters really do tell. They do. People want a deal. So if it's like, ooh, I've been looking for one of these and he's going to give me 10, 15, 20% off. Let me check it out. Right. And got to remember, a lot of people don't really do math. If that makes sense. So they see a sale like 10, 15% off. They're like, wow, it's a deal. The price isn't bad to begin with. And they don't realize they're only getting like another $2, $3 on that $20, $30 item until they're checking out. And, by then they're already, now they may come back and say, found it at a lower price with a cancellation request, but that's a different issue altogether. Use that coupon. Use not the private. I mean, you want to use the private coupon, like if you screwed up and you want to give your return customers, maybe an incentive to come back, that kind of thing. But your public coupon is what's going to help drive. If you're looking at two different listings that are the same price, the same item, and one has a coupon, the other one doesn't, I think most people are going to gravitate to that one with a coupon. Process is quitting is not an option, period. Sell need items instead. Right. Don't be stuck on selling a certain niche. Get back to that niche when things improve. But if you have the ability to source better items and you're just selling this because you like it, maybe you like porcelain dolls, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's not what's selling right now, and you have someone over here that's selling perfectly good, like health and beauty, shelf pulls and things like that, and you walk by that, at the flea market every weekend and you're not looking into it, then, what's your excuse for not making sales if you have the ability to get that kind of item? Tomorrow, I have a ton of stuff in the garage. I could probably spend between now and the next 2 weeks without sourcing anything. And I got all this crap behind me. And I can say crap. I mean, the crap in a good way. These are good shoes. These are name brand shoes. You see the Nikes behind me right there. I have enough stuff to list for the next few weeks, but I like having a backup supply. Okay. Because you never know when, it's starting to get cold here in Vegas. I don't know how long the yard sales are going to continue for. We were in the mid 40s yesterday. And I love it. You see me bundled up here. I love this kind of weather, but it's not good for yard sales. Some of you, the yard sales are non-existent already. And where are you going to source then? Are you going to go to the thrift stores? We already talked about some of these thrift stores jacking up their prices, and it's going to become harder and harder. So for me, I'm going to be out the yard sales tomorrow. And if I have to have a death pile, what we call a death pile behind me on these videos, then that's what we do. Let's see. It says also with the coupon, they have to pay as soon as they buy, since coupons only work with full price sales and not offers. Yes. And eBay, I don't know what they're thinking. They should have rolled this out by now where we're not. I just had another one where someone didn't pay, and I think I let it go for like 7 days because I just simply forgot about it and went through and canceled it due to non-payment. It just shouldn't happen. Morty the one says, hello, everyone. And the disgruntled octopus says, morning all. So you must be in the UK. Have a lot of awesome UK folks watching me, having some breakfast and watching the channel. So that's pretty cool. Picky Ricky says, I did put up wholesale Energizer torches, sold 7, and the sales stopped. I saw that was kind of essential right now. Yeah, it could be you might have other competition. Maybe check the listings. Maybe do a search to see if someone else is also kind of cut into your action, and then you have to figure out if you're going to, lower your price, that type of thing. And it's easy to get tempted to go into that game that a lot of people play on Amazon. That's race to the bottom. And like, for instance, I'll give you an example. The Barbies that I sent in. These are brand new Barbies. I think they retail for like $15. Normally on Amazon, they got them. Someone's got them on the buy box marked down to like $7.75 or whatever. And I see they have like a handful of them, like 5 or 10. Well, I've got 40. Actually, I've got 84. I've got another 40 I'm going to send in because I'm not going to play with eBay on these. But I don't want to be at $7.75. I want to be at $9.99. Okay. So after Amazon takes their fees out of it, and they leave me with like $4 or $5 per one, that's fine with me. And I have 8 sales already, and I'm higher than the buy box. Don't know why, but I'm happy with that. And I think I'm getting more turned on to FBA than I have before, and I've known about FBA for a long time. And just seeing the possibilities, the not having to mess with it, set it and forget it. You send it in. Maybe you look at your prices every once in a while and adjust your prices. But for those of you who have stuff, you can sell on there. I think it's $1 per item if you don't have a seller's account. And what's kind of cool about it, you can sell used items on there too. Some categories and some items are gated where you can't, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to have an invoice from a manufacturer or supplier for that type of item to get that, get unlocked. But for a lot of items you can get around that, like a lot of books and things like that. Emporium, etc. says, I've had decided to hang in there, but now I will have to go way beyond that. Yeah, it's just like get it into overdrive. There's still people who make very good money in this business of reselling. And I think sometimes it's that extra gear that you get into, and building a more valuable or larger store will help you get through the tough times. Maybe you make well more than you need on when it's good, but when it's tough, things are a little bit more expensive. It's nice to have those extra sales. That's why I'm just trying to get as much merchandise as I can and trying to get it up as quickly as I can. The 11th Pokeball says, I heard somewhere, when the economy is greedy, be scared. And when the economy is scared, be greedy. What do you think? Yeah, it makes sense. Again, I think the worst mentality is to just stop. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, there's not a lot of good jobs out there. So stopping the reselling game, I think, is not really an option for most. For me, it's not. Right now, tomorrow, when I go yard selling, I'm going to be taking advantage of people being scared. I think there's a lot of yard sales happening more than ever. And that's because people need money. So I've got a bunch of stuff in my closet. Let's put it out. I don't need it anymore. I got to pay my bills and, put it out. Let's see what we can get. It's a great time for resellers to get merchandise. And, between the bins, that was a steal. I got $19 for, I think, 40 items. It's ridiculous. Between the bins and the yard sales, that's where I'm at. And it's even turned my attention away from liquidation right now. And that's never happened. I've always looked at liquidation first before any other option. Atlas Addict says, I cut down on selling collectibles once they are gone. No more going to keep doing electronics and handmade plush gnomes. Started doing clothing recently as well. Yeah, clothing is saturated still, but if you get the right stuff, if I can go back there and grab some of that Carhartt and Nike, and I know what to look for when it comes to those brands. It's just the more obscure brands that people know about that sell that I'm not really all that keen on. Like to learn it, and I guess I'm kind of being forced to learn and to really learn other things. So, I may just go next week to the bins and see what kind of clothing items I can get. Ed says, so do you think selling wants is not a good idea right now and maybe focus on the needs? I think so. We're talking about things that people can do without. So if I have this trinket here, if I have this World War, it's not even World, it's post World War II. It's a Queen's Crown ER. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but it's from the UK, I believe. And these are nice to haves, but who's gonna need it? Who needs this? Not many people, unless you're doing this job and you lost your badge and you need something to replace it. Yeah, and this is well older than what someone's currently using that position. If you need it, you're still going to look for it and you're going to find ways to get it. And that means you're going to work extra time at your job to get the needs. The needs, of course, are food. Now, some people do sell food on eBay. That's certainly a thing. Look into like health and beauty. People still need razors. People still need all kinds of stuff like that. And it's better to start looking and don't just blindly start going and buying this stuff. Use your comps. Go on. Almost all of us, if not everyone here, has an eBay app, an Amazon app. Hopefully you have the seller account, the seller app. Start using those as resources to see what items you come across have value. There's so many times you see people that think, I think this will be a good sell. I think I can make money off of this. And how many times, and I know I've been guilty of it, and maybe I didn't want that person to see me at the yard sale with the app to scan in their item, right? So I think this item is going to sell. And then I get home and I'll go, wow, it's not what I thought, right? And it's maybe when things are going good, we can get away with that. But when things aren't going so good and you want to maximize every dollar you're spending on merchandise, I think you really need to get that phone out. You really need to start scanning the item. And if someone asks you, hey, what are you doing? I mean, how do they know you're not texting your Aunt Thelma? I mean, really. So just got to use your tools, guys. Don't take the easy way out. Find the thing that's going to make you money. And usually it is a need and not a want, at least right now. Mark Suddick says, hi there. Found a great thing I do for repeat customers on eBay. It separates from my computation. What I do after 3 repeats, give them a gift of free $3 scratch and win lotto tickets. Well, that's awesome. Speaking of the lotto, I think tonight is the drawing for like $800 million. I'm going to contact my son after the live stream and tell him he's in California where you can buy them. You can't buy them in Nevada. Many states allow you to buy these. I think it's Powerball, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to have him buy some tickets. If I win, I will be, if you're subscribed to the channel, you guys are going to get a little something of that too. So I'm going to at least have him buy some tickets and vicariously through this channel, if I win and become a multi-millionaire, you guys are going to get hooked up in a good way. So not to say each and every one of you guys are going to be millionaires, got 15,000 subs, but we'll do something kind of cool and nice if that was to happen. I mean, that's a pipe dream, right? But if you don't get in, you can't win. No One Design is in the house. Thanks for hanging out with us. CT's Collectible says gross sales equals last year, net sales down 10%, having to promote more and shipping costs are up. Shipping costs are up. Sourcing is up. So, again, you might have been operating at a 50 to 60% margin last year, and now it's only 40 to 50. At some point, it's going to come down to the folks that can keep their costs lower are the ones that are going to be able to sustain whatever's coming. And from what I've heard and read, what we are seeing right now is not the tip of the iceberg. And I think you're going to see more extreme stuff happen, unfortunately, after the election. I think there's a lot of stuff being like gas prices being held down, things being held down, the idea of inflation being held down for the purpose of the election. And once the election happens, it's like, okay, there's no need to do this anymore. You guys have made up your mind. And so we're going to, proceed with whatever this inflation looks like. There's not going to be any begging Saudi Arabia to bring us more oil. There's not going to be any of that stuff going on. It's just whatever happens, happens. Let's see. Morty the One says, I had a house fire a couple of months ago. My sales have been down, running my store at a third of what it was. Finally moving into my new place, looking at my store back up to 100%. Very thankful. Well, yeah, I'm thankful that you are fine and well. And of course, you can replace a house. You can't replace your family. You can't replace some of the and hopefully you didn't lose a lot of things that are near and dear to your heart that maybe you've hung on to. But yeah, it's going through something like that. And I've never gone through anything like that, but I can just imagine it could kind of light a fire under you to feel thankful for what you have and to maybe get in another gear and get stuff done that maybe you weren't doing before. Atlas Addict says, when people are buying Christmas gifts, they are more apt to buy an Amazon because they can change the address they want it sent to, whereas eBay is only the address on file. And from what I know is that right now, Amazon, almost all their purchases are giving you to like the 23rd of January to return it. Okay. Your best sellers on eBay don't even have that policy. So, and I'm not saying that you should, but I'm saying that, again, if you're selling a video game on eBay and Amazon has that video game, there's more perks. I mean, aside from the price, there's more perks for that person to buy it from Amazon because they can buy it, maybe even open it up past the game, make up some reason to return it, like a lot of people on Amazon do, and get it back in on the 23rd. Whereas, they play the game and your 30-day policy. Now, if you guys watch the video I came out with early in the week, eBay wants us nothing more than to cater to these buyers who don't adhere or even understand that they're buying something with a 30-day return policy. And like the buyer that I had tried to open a return like 40 days after they bought it, 45 days after they bought it, and they guilt trip you into taking the return. Well, if you can't take the return, we think you should take the return, but if you can't, then we'll let the buyer know. This one of those messages that is like something you tell your kid, if they can't like come and help you, it's a manipulative way to get you to change your mind of declining the return when it's well beyond that period. And it's a decision each of us are going to have to make. But honestly, the game is already tilted in the buyer's favor, and I'm not going to give them any more room to do what they do. And of course, I need to start getting. I swear to you guys, I'm going to get a moderator here. I will. I apologize from some of the junk that's coming up. I'm just getting to because I'm so far behind. So for those of you guys who are kind of sticking with it and navigating through the garbage, I apologize. Let's see. What do we have? No One Design 2 says niche down. The everything store is a very hard business model. And if you are a I'm not even going to try to say that word. And love pain, massagist? Is that even the word? I don't know. And love pain, I know what you're talking about. And love pain, don't niche down. Now, I'm not saying just sell used toilet paper, niche down in category. But again, that's easy to say if you have a dedicated source. So I'd love just to get nothing but these shoes. I think these shoes are going to be awesome. Once we're starting to get them cleaned and we're going to get them up here. We started listing them already, but it's not feasible for everyone. So if I come across something that's random that someone's selling me at a yard sale for $2, that's brand new sealed, and I can see in the comps it's going for $50. Like I picked up a thing. It's from Beauty Rest, and it says turn any bed into a smart bed. And it was like they only wanted $2 for it. It was sealed. I sold that thing in 2 days. I'm going to do that all day long, and to each his own. But it's all about the availability of what's available to you. And I just don't have those relationships, unfortunately, that some of you guys have, where you can keep going back and back and back and continually get that merchandise. Savage Picker says sales have been like a roller coaster this week. That being said, I finished the week strong. There was a glitch earlier this week with leaving feedback. I couldn't do it. And Kimberly N says, I sell collectibles. I have dropped to a 6.5% sell-through rate since the economy dropped. I send out offers daily, keep my pricing very reasonable, and crickets. And unfortunately, I read this comment a lot from a lot of people, and on this channel, on the forums, and you're not the only one that's going through that. So just stick in there, hang in there. Consider maybe diversifying what you're selling. Biscuit Butt likes the torture though, so that's part of the fun for him. And Kimberly N says our Goodwills are out of control. I stopped thrifting there a year ago. Yeah, I haven't gone back since the beginning of summer when I was buying a lot of electronics from there. But honestly, just the prices are just really ridiculous, and you got to go back on a certain day for a certain tag. I don't want to remember all that. Free the System says, hey mate, here in Australia on eBay, I see a lot of listings from the UK and the US. The price is really high plus shipping. How should I price my items compared? It's hard to find the market value price. So really, when you're looking at the market, you want to focus on the country that you're in. And I just watched a channel. Was it Australian Flipper? I'm not sure exactly. That might be it. But watched the channel, and he said something to the effect that you have like 40 million registered eBay buyers in Australia, and you have like, what is it? Like 30, 40,000 registered sellers in Australia, and only like 13% of those sellers sell used items. I thought that was kind of really strange that most of the sellers are selling new items and not used items. And it kind of got me to think along the lines of what you're saying. You know, if I was in the UK, if I was in Australia, I would focus on my market that's there in Australia and look at the comps that are selling locally. Don't get caught up, because a lot of times you do a search on an item and you'll find, oh, here are the comps from UK, but the comps from UK are, involving a lot of different factors. There's a shipping to whoever they shipped it to. Maybe that's the only item that's available and someone's willing to pay that. But for me, I'm trying to find comps in the United States. So if you're in Australia, try to find comps in Australia and try to price it as closely to that as you can of what's selling. A lot of times look at a lot of channels where people aren't even going to the solds. They're going to what's listed. And my first thought is, I don't care what people want for it, because I already know that people are overpriced with some of their items. I'm not going to try to mimic that and price my stuff too high. My dog's barking behind me. I apologize. I'm not going to price my stuff too high because I didn't want to click on the sold. So something to keep in mind: sell for the market that you're in this case, Australia. Let's see. Ed says, I'm using the classic lister. I'll only say how if John says it's okay, because it involves a competitor of his and don't want to promote on his live unless he says it's okay. It's fine, guys. If you guys are allowed to watch other channels. I do as well. In fact, I watch other channels. I don't even watch my own. Of course, I already know what I'm saying. So there's a lot of YouTubers out there that can't stand, the way they sound, the way they, I just don't like my voice. So I annoy myself. So I don't subscribe, unfortunately. That doesn't mean you can't. So hit the subscribe button and the like button while you're at it. I'd appreciate that. Tommy says, look at the listings, Australia only. The rest of the world is irrelevant. I agree with that. Gazara says, I don't use Goodwill either. And Tommy says, I filter out all comps outside US, means nothing to me. Right. Somehow Biscuit Butt's using Classic too. I'd like to know how he's using Classic, but okay. Eagles can fly, as in like in the Philadelphia Eagles, or is it Eagles can fly? I'm sure it's Eagles can fly. Would items sell quicker on Christmas times, or would it be same speed? Well, if you mean like around Christmas time, that would be really November, December. I think that it's going to pick up a little bit. It should pick up a little bit. If it doesn't, now it's time to really worry. And even after Christmas, historically, January, February, March, things are pretty good as well. But it should be busier right now, I think, in my opinion. Tommy says, I only buy stuff that has no solds last 90 days. Sales are slow. Should it pick up soon? I hope. Sales are slow. And, maybe I bought a bunch of shoes at the wrong time. But I sold a pair of Timberlands that I got in that lot, and they were really sharp condition. Had them for $59.99 plus. I think it was, in this case, I think I had it calculated because it was a 3-pound box. The dimensions were a little bit bigger. I think they paid like $14 shipping. So it was a good sale. I mean, if you consider I spent $300 for the whole lot and I just got $59.99 for one, that's pretty good. Let's see. Chiefs fan must be a good friend of Archie there. Hey, John, finally caught alive. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for hanging out with us. And yeah, go Raiders, right? Ed the Reselling Writer. I spend around $300 every week or 1.5 weeks for my family for groceries. My full-time job alone isn't cutting it anymore. And now depend on reselling. You depend on reselling to feed your family. And I got to say that, I depend on it. Most of my income is from reselling. And it, I was having some pretty good days. I think today it's not so hot. I mean, I'm looking at, I got an offer for my Adidas shoes. Let me just see what you guys think here. So I have some Adidas Light Racer Cloud Foam women's size 8 navy blue slip-on comfort shoes. I have listed for $29.99, and I have them $29.99 plus $9.99 shipping. In fact, I think these, I'm sorry, because they're under a pound, they could have them for $6.99 shipping. They just offered me $20 for the pair plus shipping. And remember, I'm into these shoes for about under $2 a pair. So I'll leave it here. I'm sure I know the answer, but I want to see what you guys think, and you can help me collectively decide, even though I already know the answer. Chucky says USPS prices has went up. Also, everything has went up except online sale prices. You're right. We're the last ones that's going to get that bump. And even then, I think it's a benefit that we're not bumping things up, because people are going to need whatever they're looking for. They see Amazon bumped up the price. They're going to see that Best Buy bumped up the price, and they're going to see, oh, this seller has the price I'm willing to pay. We have Primetime Treasure Hunter. Dom's in the house. Hey, John, what's going on? Tommy and all. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Certainly appreciate it. You know, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, you guys are winding down your week, and there could be so many things that you're doing with your time. And the fact that you have it on this channel, I really thank you. So Dom, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see. Sarah Harper says, just joining now after you showed up on my homepage. Awesome. Well, hit the notification bell so that you get notified before I go live, so you can be there right at the beginning of the conversation. Taco Stack says the USPS surcharge on the larger items they put back in the spring is killing my items. Yeah, and they say it's a temporary charge, right? Just like a temporary tax. Taxes aren't usually temporary, and price increases, we're going to get so used to it that they may, of course, give us about a week or two reprieve at the end of it. But don't be surprised that they make that the normal price. Let's see. So we are honored by the presence of Dom. That's awesome today. Very, very cool. Tommy says UPS is way more competitive now. I think about a third, if not a half, of my packages go out by UPS ground now. Anything over 3 pounds is more than likely going UPS. Kimberly Ann, I agree with you. I follow your channel because you give business info. I don't watch Thrift with Me videos or this week's sales. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many of it. If you had 1 or 2 channels that was just all they do, I guess it's, kind of cool to, see kind of what the trends are. But I mean, everyone's doing it. It's like the thing now. I mean, it's been the thing for the last couple of years, and I just can't bring myself to make a video. I got to be motivated, and that doesn't motivate me. Yeah, Biscuit Butt watches my videos, so he knows what not to buy. All you got to do is look at my store. Biff Boffo, those people filming as they pick their solds are lazy creators. People who watch these will watch anything. Yeah, I agree. But, it's sometimes people just want that content playing in the background while they're working. I understand. I'm not going to hate people for watching other types of content. I just can't bring myself to watching it. Primetime Treasure Hunter says, I watched John's video for funny Mercari stories. Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of funny ones. I mean, other than there's only been one problem with Mercari, and that was that person who I kept making an offer for this mat, a set of like bathroom mats, and they're brand new, but they're just, came in my liquidation lot. And I mean, I went from wanting 25 plus shipping on eBay to now I cross posted on Mercari to like 18. And somehow the automatic pricing tool that they have got it down to like $11. And she kept saying, like, for 2 weeks, no, I just can't afford it. I'm not going to get it. And she said, hey, can you send a media mail? The shipping's too high. No, I can't send mats by media mail. And so she ended up buying them when they got down to $11. And it turns out that I didn't even notice it. She left me a bad review saying that, and she thought I was a she, and saying that she couldn't figure out the shipping, and I felt sorry for her, so I bought them. There's nothing wrong with the mats, but I paid too much. And I'm like, oh, I tried to send her a message, and she had me blocked already. So, it irritated me so bad. The nerve to say that. And you wanted me to ship these media mail, and I wasn't the one that didn't know what was going on, get out of here. So thankfully, I didn't have any other buyers like that in Mercari. Mercari is such a simple platform, by the way. Thomas Fondren says, I had a good week, mainly athletic shoes and sporting goods. 75 listings, sold 14 items. Yeah, I sold a sand wedge. I sold a 3-wood, and that's from the lot. I bought 2 iron sets of golf irons. I bought a sand wedge. I bought a 3-wood and a driver for $50. I think it was, what was it, last week's sale or the week before? I don't know. I'm just, time meshes with itself when you're a reseller. But nonetheless, I was surprised this time of year selling golf clubs, and still trying to sell those 2 iron sets. But even if I don't, I've already doubled my money. Biff Boffo says, my strategy for this economy, stay in the collectible niche, lower margins, higher volume, harder work. Get more stuff up. I mean, here's the thing. If you're selling items, that tells you something. That items are still selling, right? Just not at the level you're used to. So what does that mean? It's time to scale up. Get more value. And I say value, get more items listed, because as you list more items are going to list. And more items, more value means more sales if we're playing the math game, as opposed to you just sitting on what you normally do. And if you have the means, if you have the time, get more stuff listed. So after we're done with this live stream, I'm going to shoot over, get my phone. That's why you're not going to hear a cha-ching. You're not going to hear a sale today on, even if I accept this offer that I want your help with. Even if I accept this offer, you're not going to hear a cha-ching, because my phone's with Best Buy right now. How do we set the public coupon? Well, what you want to do real quick in a nutshell is you want to go to your seller hub. You want to go over to marketing. And of course, my computer wants to sit here and lag. And I don't know why, because I have pretty good internet. So you go to selling, you go to marketing. And when you should see something that pops up that says create coupon, and then just go through the process. Take your time, though. The Tommy Bernard podcast says most people fail because they watch YouTubers that are fake, and they blindly follow like sheep without vetting them. Right? They do. Atlas Addict says, I just do order discounts in my store. Nobody has to put in any coupon code. Makes it easier for buyers. Tommy says, started with video games, Archie, then went everything after it became hard to source on video games. There's a kid out the bins. He was sourcing just video games and finding video games at the bottom of the bins. And he had like maybe 5 or 6. And he was there for like 2 or 3 hours. That's not a very good use of your time, I don't think. And the games weren't all that good to begin with. Dom says, try estate sales in the cold weather months. Oh yeah. But the thing with estate sales, I see your videos, you bought out the estate sale, but they want too much for their items, I think. And I guess they're motivated. I mean, the ones I've been to, not only some of them, they want you to take your shoes off when you go inside their house or the house that they're selling from. I don't see a whole lot of stuff other than like knickknacks and, things that I try to gravitate away from. And I don't really have that feel. But if you're into that kind of thing, then certainly that is a tip to follow. If you're just looking for something that can maybe replace the things you can't find. Maybe you're used to going to a flea market. Maybe you're used to going to swap meets and you stop going to Goodwill. Maybe estate sales is a good way to supplement and get yourself more merchandise. I just haven't had good experience with them. Picky Ricky says, hard to make video games, money on video games alone. I started there with the DVDs. Stepmo says, California Goodwill increases all prices. That's a shame. Let's see. We got Victor Wawiorkas in the house. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Prime Time Treasure Hunter has a hard time not getting banned from these estate sales anyways. So I don't want to get banned. That's for sure. I just stay away. If the sign says estate sale, there's so many yard sales. There's like 3 community sales this weekend. And I'm not going to have time to hit them all. And I just got to plan it out. I want to get to at least 2 of the community sales in this area and make it worth my while. I just have to plan it out because some of them are starting at 8, some are starting at 9. I want to get to the ones that are starting at 7 and then make my way to those that are starting later. Dave Allen says all payments should be automatic, even on auction. Once the item ends, a charge should be done. No seller should have to wait for a payment. We have to ship in 1 day. Why do they get 4 days to pay? You'd be surprised how many people would say, hey, can I have 4 days to pay? Can I pay next Friday when I get paid after they won the item? And it's like, really? You know, it's like, I'd rather find the serious buyer who's going to pay today, right now. Tommy says, can't wait for the videos about FBA. Customer return my Barbie after you're naked and sticky. You know, it is what it is. If I get a couple sticky Barbies back, and I was able to sell all of them, I guess that's just what do they call it? The cost of doing business, right? Or the experience of doing business. But if I do, you're going to see a video about it. Let's see. Jovial Juggler says, did I miss the topic since I was late with the new listing platform? What happened to the calculated shipping? How do you access the shipping calculator, weight, size, price before you list an item? I've never used that, to be honest with you. If there was something like that, I guess I was oblivious to it, where you can punch in the weight and your dimensions and get a price. Now I know in the app they had something like that. If you don't have your policies set up, you can actually get that. But for like the PC, I don't ever recall seeing that. If I ever kind of want to know, I mean, because I'm doing calculated, I can care less, honestly, if it's going to cost some yahoo and the other side of the world, extra to buy the item. I mean, I just, put the dimensions in. But if it's going to cost someone money and I really want to know, I guess I can go on to Pirate Ship and put in an address I've used before on that, the other side of the world and see what it costs. But I've never really searched for that feature. Let's see. What do we got here? My day's already made. We got Tommy in the house. We got Biscuit Butt. We've got the great Dom Primetime Treasure Hunter. So, hey, my day's made. Colleen's encouragement minute. I just started selling last month. My sales averaged 2 to 4 a day. This week, is that normal or slow? But it's relative. It's all relative. So if you have 100 items in your store, 2 to 4 a day could be great, right? If you have 1,000 in your store, 2 to 4 might not be so hot. So it really is relative to how many items you have in your store. If you're an everything seller, it's like 1 for every 100 items is average per day. If you sell things in a more saturated market, like I'll say clothing, for instance, 1 out of every 150 or 175 is about right. Picky Ricky says, you buy an Amazon return pallet to put back on Amazon. Well, you can. If you get something that, for instance, these pallets that I got were from Target. They weren't from Amazon. I got 3 pallets from Target. And honestly, I've been gated with Barbie for a long time. So it's just a matter of me getting Barbie. And I just so happened to get Barbie in this toy lot. So I thought, well, naturally to send it in, and I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to take up my space. I could just send it to them. I sent 3 large boxes of Barbies and Barbies accessories, and it only cost me $22 to send it by UPS into Amazon. So I was really pleasantly surprised by that. But yeah, you could technically send stuff like that. You could send used stuff. You can send vintage electronics, all kinds of stuff. Biscuit Butt says, if it was unethical, I'd return some of the liquidation items for new ones to sell. Don't give anybody any ideas. Mark Suddick says, a great thing I do for repeat customers on eBay, after 3 times, I give them a free $3 scratch and win lotto ticket. It separates me from my competition. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be gambling. I don't know if I want to do that, or at least subject my maybe one of my buyers has maybe gone through a program where they've like Gambling Anonymous, and that starts up their habit again. I don't want to be that guy. The Mad Scientist says, this is my best month to date on our 2nd year. My store is 10 times bigger than this time last year. So keep scaling it. That's what I'm trying to say. Just if you're serious about reselling, start building your business. There's no excuse for me. Look, I've been caught in a rut where, I'm working, I'm getting my stuff done. I have more sales in the last 90 days, even with the stuff that I've been dealing with, than items in my store. I lost about 200 items in my store between Mercari. I think Mercari is probably one of the reasons why I'm doing better than what I should be doing is because I'm getting a lot of cross-listing sales and things that probably would still be on my eBay account right now. Dave Allen says all payments should be automatic. I think I read that already. So if I'm way behind, then gee. Biscuit Butt says a few years ago, before the liquidators cherry picked, I was lucky to get new or open box ones and sell close to retail. It's harder. It's harder to do now, unfortunately. Bins are a good place to start and grow up your store, but gladly there's a cap on growth from the bins, and it's not you're not gonna make 6 figures at the bins. I'm sorry. At least the bins that I've seen, maybe some of the bins that you've seen, some of the Amazon bins, but the Goodwill bins, I think it's gonna be hard to do something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if you scale high enough, but maybe you have enough value and enough items in your store. T-Town Trekker says you're exactly right on inflation. The economy is being artificially controlled by the Fed's chessboard. Yeah, it's all optics at this point. It says I heard that too. Amazon is having until January. If they have that many returns, doesn't that mean you'll have a lot more options for liquidation? It's like that every year, though. I mean, the more stuff people buy, the more returns there's going to be. How much stuff are people going to buy, though? That's just it. And once it's through the different channels, so by the time it gets to me, 3 or 4 different entities have already sorted through these products, and I'm left with the whatever's people don't want anyway, and all the good stuff is gone. Tommy says, John, got to stop with the excuses, Archie. I see loads of people killing it in Vegas. He wants to scan barcodes. You know what? It's just something that if I get stuff, it's just easier to send to FBA than to mess with. So I could be trying to sell these. I am trying to sell these Barbies. I haven't sold one on eBay, and the price points are about the same. So I already sold 8, and they just received the Barbies not too long ago, like a day or two ago. Thomas Fondra says, I appreciate you doing these live streams. Very helpful. You're very welcome. Callie Deb says, hello, John. And all, I'm late. It's okay. We started late, so I'm glad you were able to make it. Alexander Diaz is 48 minutes behind, just saying hello. Thanks for dropping by and putting that comment. I appreciate it. Let's see. We're kind of winding down. Like I said, I want to get my phone back. I'm feeling kind of naked without it here. Danielle says, the more flippers you watch, the more experiences you get to hear. It's market research, really. Yeah, it's not making the same mistake or that mistake because you've watched someone make that mistake and you don't have to deal with it. Also, more bad info you received, Danielle. Really, I have to be careful who you watch. Yes, that's the caveat. As long as you research them and their stores, it's safe. So, be careful. So, obviously, I have Tommy's seal of approval because he continues to hang out with us. So I am very blessed by that statement. Or he is just, I guess, twice a week, he's really going against the grain and tuning into my channel. So it has to be one of those two things. Fisher Flip says, I had to call eBay, and she came and told me October and November are typically slow months. I almost fell off my chair in shock when she said that. Now, that's someone who doesn't understand at all reselling. Maybe that's the script that they've given them. Eagles can fly says that even though it's slow replies, just for future, it's meant to be eagles can fly. So if you want, you can just say eagles can fly or egals can fly. I don't mind. That's fine. We got a super chat. Thank you very much, Ed. You didn't have to do that, man. Thank you for pitching into the channel. I certainly appreciate that, and I appreciate you for being here all the time. That's for sure. Eddie Estrada says, as long as you make profit, take the offer. I always accept the offers. If I make a buck, don't want to miss a sale. I don't want it and don't need it. That's why I switch. Buy it now to auction. Very frustrated. Okay, so that's a vote to take it, right? Let's see. Anybody? Simplify says upsales are a lame duck. I'm glad I bought my stuff in the last 2 years. I have more than enough to last a while. Mostly movies, a lot of other stuff too. Awesome. Alan Thompson says, I love and use your content. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. See these comments, little comments like that He's getting me fired up to make another video. Nature Made in Utah, looking for a branch out into bigger profit items. I sell a lot of low-cost media products. Have 556 items with 241 sold. My death pile is backed up. Made top-rated seller in 6 months. See, I see a lot of people selling DVDs. See a lot of people selling clothing. I see a lot of that, but see, it's saturated. I've got DVDs up. I've got Blu-rays up. And, just years ago, I mean, Blu-rays were selling for $5-10 a piece. Now I can't even get $2 for them. So I just got to try to gravitate away. I'm going to probably lot a lot of that stuff out because it's just taking up space and I really don't want to be bothered with it. So I've had one vote to take the offer. So I'm going to take the offer or decline it by the end of this show. So Chris Wiley says, I do amazing in my local church, thrift shops, and Habitat for Humanity. If you have any of those charitable organizations near you, go. They're donating to a charity and saving money. So yeah, a lot of these one-footed shoes. Now, that lady who I bought all those shoes from, I have about maybe 30 to 40 pairs of shoes that have 1 foot. I don't know if they want that maybe donated to them, that type of thing. I'm going to go back to her house. She's having a Halloween party tomorrow. And I have some more Halloween lights. I told her I'd bring them to her. So I'm going to bring her the lights. I'm giving her the lights. But of course, I'm going to ask about my shoes. Did you find the rest of my shoes at your mom's house? So it's kind of ridiculous that I have to do that. She hasn't called me, but it is what it is. Just in time, Flippin says, most estate sale companies take all goods at the end, which means double dip. Tommy says you can't calculate a price before listing because you have no clue where it's going to sell to. I think in the app, though, if you don't have your policies set, it'll give you a range like this based on what you've put in for your weight and dimensions. It gives you like a range of what it would run. I've seen that before. Colleen says, I have 200 items in my store and sell everything. Okay. Nothing wrong with selling everything. Some people don't mind. Tommy, thank you, man. $9.99 super chat. This advice is horrible. Watch Biscuit Butt instead for real info. I mean, you got to watch Biscuit Butt's channel, guys. As soon as you're done here, go subscribe to his channel. He's been doing this for about 2 months now. I think about 2 months. I think he might have 4 videos. So go watch those videos. I'm saying this because I've been on his butt all the time and he needs to get making more videos. But I think for someone who does the videos, so infrequently, he's only done like 4 of them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 6. He does a really good job on his videos. I tell him that all the time, but yeah, I'd like to see more content from him. But thanks, Tommy. I really appreciate you, man. The fact that you're here every week. The first part of this program, I was looking, I'm like, oh, Tommy's not here, right? But you made it. So thank you. I appreciate you, man. Eagles Can Fly. I'm new to the reselling business, but I feel like it'll be hard work for me to do. Prosser recommended to watch your channel, and he said you would help me understand it all, and you have so far. Check out a lot of my previous videos. I mean, I get kind of off on tangents, and I break stuff down a little bit deeper than most channels do, and I probably can do a better job than I do, but at least it should give you some idea of the little intricacies on the things you should be focusing on versus what you shouldn't be focusing on. Hopefully that helps you. Carl Becker's in the house. Anyone having issues seeing a sold item when clicking on it in the eBay app? Are they being purposefully hidden? I think sometimes people do hide their sales. I just never saw a purpose in doing that. Yeah, Tommy, correct your spelling. Tommy, it's 2 T's in Biscuit Butt. And so you'll have to resend that. It didn't take. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for the super chat. That's awesome of you guys. Look, guys, I think I only got one answer on this, and that is, again, it's these. Let's see if I can do this without screwing up my presentation. Oh, screwed up the presentation. It's these shoes right there. I just screwed up my whole setup here. So they want $20, and I apologize. I screwed up the live stream, and my monitor went flying. So it's not an earthquake, I promise. Okay. All right. So for those of you who are not sick now, after seeing that shaking going on, it's a pair of Adidas Light Racer Cloud Foam women's size 8. And I have one vote to take the offer. $20. I was asking $29.99, and so $29.99 plus shipping, and $20 is what they're offering. So I will have to accept that offer. And the reason why I'm accepting the offer, and then before I do that, real quick, before I do that, I always like to do one thing. Am I dealing with someone who loves to leave negative feedback? This person does not love to leave negative feedback, so they're getting a brand new pair of shoes. Well, they're not brand new, but they're getting a pair of shoes. So I'm accepting the offer. And unfortunately, you're not going to hear the cha-ching because my phone's not here. So thank you to the, oh yeah, a bunch of you guys say, yeah, size 8 reject offer. And then we have take it. Size 8's a good size. Sit on them. Take the offer. Take it. I did take the offer. So I already knew I was going to take it. I just wanted you guys to be a part of it. That is, I was waiting for one person to say don't take it, but just to sit on a shoe for the size. I mean, I was only wanting 29. If you'd have come at me with $12, I would have said no. In fact, I'll leave you guys with this before I end. I'm selling a pair of Prada sandals. Now, I haven't bought Prada for nobody. Unfortunately, Jenna doesn't have any Prada, but she's never asked for Prada, so that's why she's never had Prada. But we got these Prada sandals. They're like size 10 and they're black. And I looked them up. The comps, I mean, I think it's like years removed from being sold online or whatever. But the comps I did see, there's a pink pair of that model being sold for like $500 on, not even on eBay, just another third-party website. There's similar pairs that have sold, like one for 700, and we're talking used condition. And you go to the Prada site, they have stuff that's selling anywhere from like $500 to $2,500 for a pair of sandals or shoes. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So I just did this. I just put them at $19.99 auction, let the market take care of it. It's up at like $28 already. It's going to end on Sunday. And I had some Yahoo, it's already at 20 something dollars. Some Yahoo sent me a message through eBay and said, will you take, please, sir, will you please take $12? And I was like, are you kidding me? I started to type something out and I said, it's not worth my time. And essentially I was going to say, look, I've got some shoes I can sell you for $12, but they're not Prada. If you only got $12 to spend on Prada, you certainly shouldn't be wearing Prada. But I didn't send anything. I just blocked them and moved on. But these people sometimes, and I don't know if it was a troll, but it just really kind of made me laugh. And I thought, how ridiculous is that? If it's already at 20 something dollars, why would I take 12? And certainly for something like Prada. And yeah, Biff Boffalo says, be careful. They are often counterfeit. And I did a little research on what to look for, counterfeit versus, and it had all the marks of a real pair that they're asking for. So, I'm gonna do my due diligence, that's for sure. And we got these idiots putting these stupid things in chat. So again, guys, the economy is what's going to either make it or break it for a lot of us, and we have no control over that. What we have control over is what you guys do through this bad economy, through the obstacles that are thrown your way. If you can't find something to sell, well, you're gonna have to find something else to sell. So these are things that you're going to have to figure out. I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to figure them out myself, but yet it's just another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent weekend. Get out there, buy some stuff at yard sales if you can, because they're going to start winding down. And we will talk to you guys. And thank you for all the super chats, by the way. And we will talk to you very soon. Take care, everyone.